everyone, it's Angie, long time no see. You know, I've started this video. This is the third time I'm trying to start this video, so I'm gonna skip all my rigmarole that I was gonna go through and just say I've missed you, and hopefully I'll be back to doing videos on hopefully a somewhat regular basis, at least more frequently than I have been over the course of the past few months. I haven't had a video out since my Christmas premiere in mid-December, so yeah, it's been a while, but we'll talk about that stuff at a later video. I'll do like a whip and chat or something and just kind of, you know, let you guys know what's going on in my life and all that stuff. But today, the reason that I wanted to make this video and get it out there today is because I found some exciting things. And so I have to go. I actually got dressed today, which is why I decided to do the video today. I have a couple of appointments this afternoon, and I had just enough time to sneak this video in before I get going. So I wanted to take advantage of, number one, me looking halfway like a human, no makeup or anything, but you know, baby steps. But I have real clothes on, and I washed my hair, so we're doing good. Anywho, I went down a rabbit hole recently. I was watching a pair of sisters who do a floss tube. And if you're not familiar with the world of cross-stitch, cross-stitching YouTubers call their videos floss tubes, because, you know, you cross-stitch with floss. Anyway, it popped up. It's not anybody I subscribe to regularly, and so I forget, forgive me that I can't remember their name to forward them on to you. And I tried to go back and look. Oh, I could look in my recently viewed. I forgot about that. I will try to link their channel if I think about it. Anywho, they did a series of a couple of videos about the highest priced third-party cross-stitch kits and cross-stitch patterns that they could find on eBay. So that kind of got me thinking. I'm like, I wonder what's out there on eBay. I never even thought to look on eBay for stitching stuff. And in case, well, and you probably wouldn't know because it's been so long since I've talked to you guys, I have really gotten back into cross stitching a lot lately. I'd say I'm splitting my time pretty much. I mean, I still crochet every single day, but I'm also cross-stitching every single day, and diamond painting maybe 2 or 3 days a week, probably 3 days a week, but definitely cross-stitching has come up big time for me in my life again. So I got on there and I found some cool stuff. So let me show you what I found. I got amazing deals, you guys. And the thing I loved best about these is that these are all the kits I'm going to show you. They're all vintage kits. Now, some of them aren't kits. Some of them are patterns that the previous owner had purchased the flosses for and included them in the package price. So I kind of lucked out as far as that goes. We'll save this one for last because that's a little bit something different. But let me show you what I got. And then I want to share with you my qualms about these. So these 8, 9 that I'm about to show you all came from the same eBay seller, and it was just from what I could gather, it was just a woman who was destashing, was no longer stitching. So the first one I got is this one. It is from Schoolroom Samplings. It's the Fanny Osborne sampler, and it's a small sampler from the Fanny Osborne sampler was originally made in 1805, and this is what it looks like. With the alphabet, and it's very cool. Now, this sampler the copyright on this pattern is 1987. So I think that's super cool. And it's a kit. So it came with the linen. I think it's probably 28 count linen. It's probably on the pattern. Yeah, I'd say that's 28 count linen, and it's kind of a stiff linen, but I kind of dig it. I love the color, and all of the floss. For the pattern. So even though that picture, it looks very pastel-y in the picture of the sampler, I think it's going to turn out a little bit more colonial type, tealish, colonial, mustardy. I really like it, and this is really neat. So the original price for this sampler was $27 for this kit, and for a group of 7 of these kits, I think I paid like $35. I mean, plus shipping, but I got a deal. I got a steal. I got a steal. So I can't show you the pattern because, you know, I don't want to violate any copyrights or whatever. But it comes on this. This is like a stitch to show you how to work the stitches. Because it has some stitches other than plain cross stitches. But it's on, so the whole pattern is on this great big piece of like parchment paper. It's really interesting. It's very, very neat. So that's from 1987, that sampler kit. I'm going to try to just set these aside nicely and I'll repackage them up later. That went in there. Okay, the second one is called the Shaker Hearts Sampler. Now, I love this one. I'm a sucker for samplers. And this is what that one looks like. And this is from... Let's see if we have a year in here. 1985. So this is a 1985 chart. And it looks fairly, I mean, there's not all that much to it. This is something that I could probably complete very quickly. And again, it came with the Aida and all of the floss, which is super cool, except that this Aida, because when they manufactured it or when they packaged it up, they put the needle through the Aida and it has kind of rusted into there. So I'm not sure if that is going to be within my margins, but I mean, this is just a piece of ivory Aida. I can definitely get a piece of that anywhere. So I'm not too overly concerned about that. And I really kind of love the fact that it's all like pristine and new from 1985. I think that's just, I don't know. I love it. I think it's so cool. So cool. And I had a thought, and I was going to look this up before I started my video, but I got sidetracked with the dogs. When does something go from being vintage to being antique? Because I've got another set coming, and it's a little something different. It's called Crewel Embroidery. Not anything that I've ever done before, so I'm excited to get it, but it's a Crewel Embroidery kit from 1975, which happens to be the year I was born. So I was just wondering, is that antique or is that still vintage? What's the cutoff? This next one is from a place, this Ramsgate Limited is the company that made this chart, and they are from Okemos, Michigan, so my neck of the woods. This is called the Country Christmas Sampler. And I mean, it's not that, it's okay. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. This is probably one that I might give to my girlfriend because she loves samplers and more country type stuff. Now, this was not a kit, but she did include the DMC. And it's so cool because these are definitely the old DMC. You can tell by the label that they're the old DMCs. And this kit is, or this pattern's also from 1987. So that's super cool. And you know what else I find really, really remarkably cool about these old patterns? And I'm just going to show you a part of this one just to give you an idea. They used, the pattern designers, they used graph paper, but then they hand drew in the symbols for the pattern. And I just think that that is so neat. I don't know why. I think it's super cool. Super cool. How much technology and innovation has advanced everything, including the way we craft in the past, what is that, 87 to 2024, is that 43 years? We've come a long way, baby. This one I'm in love with, and this one is a kit, again, which I am in love with the fact that there of these kits. Now, is this not open? See, this one's not open. It's all sealed up still. And I don't know if I want to, you know what? I'm just going to open it. I mean, what good is it going to do me if I don't open it? But this is from 1986. It's Ann Taylor Nelson Designs, and it's called Village Green. And I am going to stitch this one soon. But that's what that one looks like. I love that. I just think it's so cute. And that, again, comes with the, I'm not going to open it on second thought, comes with, you know, the floss and the Aida that goes with it. So it's a complete kit, ready to go. All right, this next one is from Creative Designs. I think this one is unopened as well. And I'm not gonna open this one either because it's nice and stapled shut. This one is also from 1985, and it's just called Samplers 1. And it's these three little three-stitch samplers. They're small. I mean, especially these two at the bottom are very small. And then you have your plain alphabet. And it comes with the linen and the DMC. And you can tell how big the piece of linen is and how little DMC floss you have, that it's not going to be a very big end product. Let's see what it even says. It doesn't even give me outside the thing here, the dimensions, but I'm not going to open this up just because it's so old, and you know, I'll open it if I ever decide to do it. That's coming up, whether or not I'm going to do these. This next one is a lavender and lace, and this is a pattern only. This is not a kit, but it's that, I'm sorry, my hands are a bit shaky. Adorable little girl. And this is from 1999. So this is a little bit newer of a lavender and lace pattern. And it's called Told in a Garden. And I think it's very pretty. I really like the lace that you stitch at the bottom there. I think that that's beautiful. And I think it would be so much fun to stitch that. Okay. Now this last one, well, not quite the last one in that kind of group. All of these that I've shown you so far came in like a set. This one is not my cup of tea, but it's still cool because it's old, in my opinion. So this is from 1986, and it's called Sugar and Spice, designed by Ruth Hausworth. And that's what it looks like. I mean, it's cute. It's just not, not really my style. And again, it comes with the Aida and the DMC floss. So pretty cool. I love that they're all sets. I mean, that's like that's my jam, man. I don't mind not having to kit things up myself when it comes to cross stitch stuff, because it seems like I can never choose the right fabric, and I don't know. I'm not great at that kind of stuff. Okay, now the next two things came as a separate little kit, or a separate little group, from the same lady. Now this one I'm in love with, and I can't wait to stitch it. This one came with all of the floss and beads, however, it did not come with the fabric. So I do need to source some fabric. But this is called Orchard Quilts by Kingsland. And this pattern is from 1989, and I am absolutely in love with it. So you get the pattern in here, you get the small little candle screen pattern, the pincushion pattern, and this large pattern. And what's cool about this is I've read through this pattern, and what you do is, you don't have to do this, but if you want to get this three-dimensional effect, you do your background stitching on this, green colored Aida, and then you do the quilts on separate little pieces of white Aida, and then you hem them and then tack them onto your background piece. So it actually looks like those quilts are hanging out on the line, and it looks like this one is hanging, over the cart. And it didn't come with the buttons. There's little buttons on there to act as wheels to the cart. So I'm going to have to find some buttons. But other than that, it's super, super cool. I can't wait to do this one. In fact, maybe if I'm up to it, when I'm out today, I might stop and see if I can get some Aida. Slate is the color Aida they used for the background. And I think I want to use that same color. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to stitching this one. I really like this one a lot. And it will probably be a gift to my friend who is in love with quilts. She just loves like the old Amish quilt designs. So that's very cool. So, and then finally, well, not finally quite yet, I got two more. This next one came as a kit, and I'm in love with this one too. And this is one that I'm definitely going to complete as well. This is called Classic Quilts. Now this is a whole big book, okay? It's called Classic Quilts by SJ Designs, and let me see what that name stands for. Susan Johnson. Susan Johnson from SJ Designs. Now this is from 1996, so it's not quite as old, but I absolutely fell in love with that one on the front there. Isn't that amazing? It is absolutely gorgeous. So this book contains the patterns for this, for these two littles, and for all of these guys back here. So just different, you know, quilt designs that are stitched differently. I'm gonna do this one because it also came with the stretcher bars and fabric that's already pre-cut for that front one. Now, what's interesting about this is it's going to be employing some new skills for me. So I've got just regular DMC floss, but then there's also some Kreinik in there, and I think I need to get some, there's one thing missing. I think I need some, like, I thought there was something that I needed. Oh, beads. There are some glass beads that I need, some pearl glass beads. But what you do is, this is not all just cross stitch. It is a variety of different stitches, and you don't use a linen or a Aida or a even weave or anything. Well, it is an even weave, but it's a different type of fabric. This uses, it's called a mono canvas. So this is the mono, this is the, and it feels kind of like a screen, like a window screen. But she explains in this book that with this kind of stitching, and you're going to be layering a lot of stitches are going to be layered on top of one another to create like a three-dimensional effect. And so the mono canvas is sturdier and will hold those stitches a lot better. So I'm really excited to try something new and to, you know, check out some new things. So I'm just going to show you, for example, let's see. I mean, I'll show you, I mean, I can show you one little bit without like giving you an idea of the whole pattern. But you're going to do, yeah, just to show you, you're going to do herringbone stitches, straight stitches, upright cross stitches, and what else? And rice stitches. So, and it seems like there was another stitch in there that you do. Anyways, it's going to be a combination of different stitches that are going to make up, you know, that border and the braiding around the edge. So I'm really, really excited to do that. I just have to have Jeff put this, she took it apart from the stretcher bars to ship it, obviously. So he's just I got to have him put the stretcher bars back together and re-staple, because she had this, was stapled on at one point. Re-staple that on and get some beads. Well, of course I can get started without having the beads, but then I'll be good to go. So that is, I'm definitely excited to actually do that project. The other ones, the ones I've showed you up until now, I don't know. I'm kind of wrestling with myself a little bit as to whether or not I should actually do them, because they are so old and so cool and so like in their original packaging and sealed up. Like, I mean, I bought them with the intention of doing them, but now that I see them and they're so cool, it's like I kind of don't want to, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel sacred somehow that they've lasted in their original state that long. I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think? Should I do them or should I save them? I mean, what am I going to save them for, really? Anywho. All right. So last but not least, now this was from a different seller, but still from eBay. This was someone who was not a stitcher, but had bought like a bulk lot of items from an estate sale. And this was something that came in that bulk lot. Now, what it is, I had to do a little bit of research, and it's very interesting because I've seen the types of work and the types of pattern that this particular designer has made over the years. However, I've not found a picture online anywhere of this design completed. So and I started it already because of course I did. So I'm going into this completely blind. Well, not complete. I have like a black and white grid of what it's going to look like, but you know, you don't really know until you're, you know, get it on there. So it's the designer is Sue Lentz. Now Sue Lentz is very popular in the world of fiber arts and stitching and whatnot. She used to do, she doesn't do them anymore, but she used to do kind of like stitch alongs, but they were, she provided not only the patterns, but also everything you needed to do the project. So this was listed, and I got this very, very inexpensive because number one, the person wasn't a stitcher, didn't know really what it was. Number two, they said right on there, bought it in an estate sale. I'm not sure if it's complete. And I thought, well, I mean, at least all three parts of the pattern are there. So if I need to get supplies, you know, no big deal. Well, I am so glad that I took the risk because this is called Mystic Gardens by Sue Lentz. It was released in 3 parts. So let me find my part 1. Okay, so part 1, each part came in this nice little bag, and this was released in 1994-95. And it comes with all of your, it came with the linen, and each part came with the floss that you would need to complete that part of the pattern. Now, I found out the hard way that it was not a good idea to do it the way it was released. I miscounted and I had to take out like hundreds of stitches. So the border is all done in this beautiful metallic gold. And then most of the rest of it is done in a combination of 1 strand over-dyed, hand-dyed floss and 1 strand of Super Twist, which is like a different brand name from Krennic. Super Twist is made by like Madeira, I think, makes Super Twist. Anyway, but it's like it's a glittery type. It's like Krennic. It's a, you know, glittery floss, not glittery, shimmery floss. So for part 1, you were supposed to do, I can show you on this page probably because this isn't like a pattern. For part 1, you were supposed to stitch just this outside border and then just the leaves. So the only flosses that you got in week 1 was this, or not week 1, but part 1 was this gold, and I've got a mess here. And then all of these different greens, and I've got some more greens sitting on my chair over there. And then the leaves were sporadically placed. Now this is 28 count linen, which means that you're going to be stitching over 2 strands. I don't commonly stitch over 2 strands. I don't care to because I'm not a great counter. And especially when you're going to be covering a lot of space in between your groups of stitches, not a good combination for Angie. So like I said, I started doing part 1 first. That's part 3. Part 1 first, and which the pattern is just the greens, you know what I mean? And this is another one of those hand-drawn canvases, so it's kind of cool. So just the greens, but I quickly found that, you know, that wasn't gonna work well after I had to pick out a million stitches. So then I decided I would work parts 1 and part 2 together. Now, one thing that Sue Lentz is kind of known for is a combination of stitchery. She doesn't, it's not just cross stitch, which I'm really, really enjoying. I've just gotten to some parts where I'm doing some different stitches and it's really fun. So I am working parts 1 and part 2 together, which is a combination of the border, which I haven't done yet, the border, the leaves, and the flowers, some flowers. So, and so like this part, it coordinates, you know what I mean, or it combines them. So this is where I'm at so far. And I know that doesn't look like much, but that's a lot of stitching time in. And I'm just getting to the point. So far all I've done is basic cross stitches. And a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them, like this flower was just overdyed floss, but the leaves were all 1 strand overdyed and 1 strand of the Kreinik. These were 2 strands of the Kreinik. The stem was 2 strands of Kreinik, but those were all basic, just cross stitches. Then when I got to these red and blue here, these lines, these are called Smyrna stitches. So it's like you do a cross stitch and then you do a plus over top of the cross stitch. So it's like a little bit of, like an asterisk almost. Now I am filling in, you can see I've done a little bit there, that blue between the Smyrna stitches and right here. Those are diagonal stitches and it's going to be filling in the flowers. So these are actually petals of a flower and I'm going to be doing the diagonal stitches between these lines that's going to fill in the petals of the flower. Then I'm going to be doing, let's see, what else? Let me tell you. So we got diagonal stitches, the Smyrna stitches, and then we're also going to do in this part some Rhodes stitches, which I've never done, but this is apparently what a Rhodes stitch looks like. It's like a big star stitch. And then we're going to do some upright stitches, some oblong cross stitches, and some, it seems like there was something else we were going to do. Am I in part 2 or part 3? It's a little bit confusing because the pages kind of look the same for each part, and like they're the same size, they kind of look the same, but each part has different information on it, like because they build off one another, so it's a little bit confusing. But geez, I can't remember what are the names of my other stitches that I'm going to be doing. Oh, that's right. Then when we get to the border is going to be really interesting. The border is going to be very pretty, and I can't wait till the border. I mean, I got a long time coming before I get to the border, but the border is going to be a cushion stitch. Part of it's going to be a cushion stitch. Part of it is going to be a Scotch stitch and different variations of all of the above. So this is really my only gauge of what this project is going to look like when it's finished. I have no idea what the colors are going to look like. I have no idea. I mean, I have the floss, you know, but I don't know what it's all going to look like when it's put together. So let me just show you because, and then my other big worry is I'm trying really, really hard not to be wasteful because this is not, first of all, this is hand-dyed, over-dyed floss. So it's not, and it's from 1994. So I'm not going to be able to find it. So these, let me just show you, these are all the colors that are going to go into the flowers and the butterflies. So we've got, I mean, we're running the gamut here. We've got golds and browns and peaches, purples and blues and reds and pinks and greens. and more purple and like jewel type tones. And then we've even got some what is the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, it's been a while since I talked to anybody. Pastel type tones. And then these are just some more of the overdyed colors. So, I mean, this is going to be a colorful thing. And again, it's called Mystic Garden. If anybody out there watches this video and you have stitched Magic Garden or Mystic Garden, or you have seen this, and you can show me a picture of what it looks like finished, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. So, but yeah, it's really going well so far. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm excited about this, but I am nervous about running out of floss because I don't know what I'd do then. But that's all I had for you today. I just wanted to share my cool eBay finds with you. Again, we went down a rabbit hole and I just saw some deals I couldn't resist. So I'm a big fan of, I think vintage might be my new thing. I think I might be going towards all vintage. I started looking at all different kinds of vintage crafting kits. So watch out because stuff might be happening. I'm going to try, I think I'm going to get, I've done punch needle before, which is a type of embroidery similar to rug hooking, but you use a different tool. But I think I'm going to try actual rug hooking. And that's not the same as latch hook. Latch hook and rug hooking are two totally different things. But I'm going to try rug hooking, I think. I've been wanting to try that. So anyway, it was nice to see everybody. And I hope you'll stick around. And thanks for your patience if you're out there watching this. And it's great to see you again. All right, I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye.